Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, where things since we last met have been somewhat of a mixed bag. I'll get you caught up. You can see at the top though, mixed bag in this situation though means we are still in the playoffs. But since we last met, that's this batch here. A bunch of wins, a few draws and a few losses. Like I say, bit of everything. In fairly equal measure, actually. 6 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. There's a name in there that pops up more often than anyone else. And that's Sonny Perkins, who is stupidly good. In fact, he's developed since he's been here. Of course he has. Why wouldn't he develop? He is really stupid good. He's got physicals this league hasn't seen in a while. I just realised he has a very strong left foot. It's a shame he can't do volante. He's got 10 tackling. He could do it. But yeah, 10 goals in 12 starts. I feel really sorry for Archie Collins, who did score twice in the game, in which he had to play because Perkins was tired after scoring his hat-trick against Northampton here. But we have won a couple of games 4-0, 1-0 against Lincoln. That one's super important. Was almost tempted to bring you Bolton Lincoln just because they're up there with us at the moment. We have Bolton next in the FA Cup away from home. I'm going full strength for this because I feel like the FA Cup second round is one of the most important fixtures in this season, because win this, we go into the set of teams that could draw major Premier League opposition like we did last year with Man United and got £1 million as a result. So when I hit that first Bolton game, it was kind of a 50-50. But I decided to plough on, get a little bit more games under the belt, progress the season a little bit more. The theme of being FM'd has continued somewhat as well. Rotherham did us in when we had basically a 3-1 XG. They won 3-2 in the 92nd minute. Huddersfield did us in with a 3-1 XG with a 3-all. Doncaster probably should have been 1-1, but the Ipswich game is basically the only one we actually deserve to lose. Along with the Leonore and Papa John's knockout round thing, which I basically threw. Because quite frankly, I don't want any more games. I wouldn't have minded if we got through it. I'm kind of happy not to have any more games because it is ridiculous. I'll show you the league when we get to the league game, but like I say, we are full first strength, including the bench actually, which I've finally decided to not put a goalkeeper on because 7 subs, the flexibility isn't there. I can get away with it in Germany with the 9 subs, but no. Roos in goal, Fleming, Mbete, Stubbs, McLaughlin, Ramirez, Morton, Perkins, Jay, Brown and Beerith up front. Tom Ince is rubbish. Is my summation really so far this season, along with Kuhn, but he is playing in a position which he isn't good. He's also kicking off about playing time, despite the fact he started 8 games and been subbed on in 4. He's a squad player. We've played 27 games. He started in a third of them. Get your act together, mate. You don't see Dieng kicking off, and he's contracted as a regular starter. He scored at the weekend, actually. I did notice on the teleprompter in real life. But yeah, he's only started 6 games and he's not kicked off. You're right there, Timothy. Fleming is just back from injury, actually. We have had a woeful time with injuries in the meantime, along with yellow card suspensions and just general tiredness from playing every 3 days. I feel like this is genuinely the first time we've been full first strength since we last met, which is insane. But there's a downpour here at the, I want to say University of Bolton Arena it's called now, or something. All I remember about Bolton Stadium now is that it's very hard to find on GeoGuessr these days. Sonny Perkins, there's a surprise, has scored. It's in a very unobvious spot. But it's Fleming the provider, back from injury. He's only good for 75, so I will have to take him off at some point in the second half, around 75 minutes. That's funny how that works. But yeah, having someone who is adept at being a pressing forward. I'll finish the sentence though. Having someone who is adept at being a pressing forward in that centre midfield attack role has been interesting. But we do have Josh Keel on the bench to deal with this injury. What time is it? Thigh. We might be alright. It'll probably be a few games. Well, probably about 7 considering how many there are. But I'll be honest, I'll be happy with a highlightless game. I mean, it's not great content, but from this point onwards, if we could just avoid any drama, that'll be fantastic. But a couple more goals wouldn't go amiss either. We did play Bolton recently, you may have noticed it in that, and the guy on loan from Leicester scored against us, which felt personal. Really should have done the affiliate with Everton. I am concerned that Josh Key is the only one booked in our team right now, considering the right-back situation, but throws that to Brown. That's actually a good head-on, and it's fallen to our team, and Beerith now, Jay, we've got through somehow, and he's scored. That was a weird goal. That's 10 for Jay. I feel like both Jay and Perkins have more goals than Beerith now. He's had to be rotated out a lot for fitness levels, but Brown gets that. Perkins gets the knockdown there. Morton finds Beerith. Beerith gets Jay, and the tackle questionable, and Jay puts it away. What was on 6.7 just by the fact we're 2-0 up? What are you doing? 77 minutes Fleming's actually looking quite good at this stage. So on the one hand, I don't want to push my luck. Oh no, Key's lost the ball. He's got it again though. Mildly concerned he'd have a retaliatory tackle there, but we're fine. That was pathetic. Perkins, mate, wasn't your best moment. Just realised I didn't really comment over the rest of that highlight. They had a shot, it wasn't close. They have had a corner here. I don't think that was from the same highlight. That's a speculative effort. I almost don't want to take Morton off, just so he does get a 7 rating at the end of the game. I do feel like protecting Perkins. I do feel like protecting Fleming at this stage now. So Sparks on, Collins on. The game that follows is against Plymouth, so I'm pretty sure they're doing okay. Sam Stubbs with 9 interceptions. Didn't get a 7 rating anyway, did Morton, but XG-wise, pretty accurate. Well, and close to deserving a goal. Nobody gave us a chance against a team in our own division. Cool. Glad to know we've got faith. Second round results. Any non-league teams sneaking through here? Grimsby will be in the third round. I don't know if they're still non-league. Wrexham are through. I don't know if they're still non-league. I doubt it, actually. Same with Chesterfield as well. Not sure if they're still non-league either. Most of them actually knocking out other non-league teams, which is a bit awkward. I'm glad the draw set it up that way because it guaranteed non-league teams in the next round. 34 grand is not to be sniffed at either. Oh, I ignored the injury. Oh, it's 3 to 4 months. Cool. Did he have a decent length injury last year as well? He is injury prone. He's injury prone because he broke his leg 11 years ago. But no, he hasn't had an injury at all. Key had a hefty injury at the end of last season, didn't he? That's what I'm thinking of. I was wondering where the draw was. Finally, we're there. A lot of teams to go into this. The only one who's still non-league is actually remarkably Wrexham. So the one team that has financial backing out of the teams that were in the Vanarama to begin with, looks like both Grimsby and Chesterfield were promoted last year. And remarkably, they've drawn each other. Wrexham gets Swansea, of all teams. Man UFC are gone, so we're not getting a repeat there. Local rivals and next opponents, Plymouth, get Leeds away. Still not come out. Who's left? Manchester City still left. Liverpool still left. Our affiliate Leicester is still left. West Ham Stadium's obviously quite hefty. Molyneux and Goodison Park on the table as well, along with the King Power. Oh, we get Coventry away. That's probably like the worst case scenario. It's not exactly a massive windfall, and it's a team that's better than us. Predicted 12th in the Championship, currently 3rd. So overachieving as well. 32,000 all-seater. It's not a bad stadium. West Ham versus City. Blimey. Yeah, it's going to be a reasonable payday, even if we don't get through it, but nothing spectacular this year. It's also the kind of game that I'm not really too bothered bringing you either, just because they are only one league ahead of us. But back to League One, all eyes on the West Country derby. Exeter versus Plymouth. We welcome them to St James's Park. And by the way, I'm really hoping there is expansion space for St James's Park because 8,700 isn't going to cut it as we go over the divisions here. I'd like to be able to stay in a venue that shares the name with Newcastle, just for the narrative. How is Key tired? They also didn't rest anyone and they are absolutely knackered. Why are they so tired? They were all fully fit going into the last match and there's been 3 days. Like, I guess some of you should be a little tired, but this tired? Do none of you have stamina? 11 on Beerith, 11 on Jay. You were fully, I know Ramirez is dying, but Sam Stubbs has 14 stamina and he's knackered. Fairness, and Betes is terrible. What on earth is going on here? Right, for this, we're going to have to make some interesting changes. Roos stays in goal, of course. Josh Key at right back for the injured McLaughlin. Those ones we expected. Fleming, somehow actually the most fit player still in that 11, despite just coming back from injury and playing 80 minutes. Dunkley and Sweeney are going to have to play at centre-back. Sule and Morton ahead of him. Morton's just fit enough to play this. Collins in front of him because Perkins is going to play up front. Sinclair and Springett on the right, who we haven't really seen. He started 3 games. He's been subbed on in 3 games. Dean Smith is furious, but I win him over every time he makes an approach and tries to complain. You know who else is furious? This guy. In fact, actually, sod it. Constein. I kind of also don't want to break Sonny Perkins either. The worst part of this is we play Derby in 4 days' time, and obviously they're doing well as well. I also just realised I didn't actually show you the league table, but we are 4th, they are 5th. It's not only a local derby. You may have seen, actually, the places on the preview, but it's a pretty dull derby so far, with a grand total of about 0.3 XG between both teams in the first 40 minutes. Fans getting their money worth. Is that the Will Keane we had years ago on the Bradford save? I think it is. Because I think we got him when his contract expired with Hull. Or Ipswich, depending on which year it was. Oh, Fuad Sulu. Sorry, that threw me off guard so much I couldn't even pronounce his name correctly. Fuad Sule has scored. I'm fairly certain this is effectively Oh, it looked like it hit more players in the live version, but no, it's just straight to Sule and straight in the goal. Good work. What I was going to say is Con is complacent, which you kind of feel like you wouldn't be if you're trying to leave on loan. I mean, marking would be nice. He's delighted. It's a fine goal for Plymouth Argyle, says the text. Is it a fine goal, or is it just absolute woeful marking here? Mayer dinks it across, leaves it at the back post. No one's with him. Goalkeeper's staring at the manager box for some reason. It's neither the defence nor Kelly Roos's finest moment. But Sule Sinclair now. I was so close to just keeping Berith on the bench as an ultimate measure, but I suppose Temenuzukov, I've gone for it. Temenuzukov, it's actually not that difficult. Temenuzukov has scored his second goal of the year. He has scored another one. I genuinely cannot remember when it was, but that's his second of the year. Not bad for a man he is tiny as well. Limey. Just onside. He looks absolutely tiny compared to their defenders. 2-1. Decision to start him may be justified. We don't know how many Perkins would have banged in by now, so there you are. There's a what if for you. Keane. I really like it if you weren't like a crucial part of another attack for them. Just, me and you go back. I won't say go back well, because I'm pretty certain he didn't feature all that much for me. But Lee whistles one over the crossbar there. Wasn't far off. Sweeney's not playing great. Morton is obviously knackered. Did I remove... I didn't put Ramirez on the bench. That was good for me. Right, Dieng's on. Collins tiring. Springett tiring. Sinclair tiring. Fleming booked and tiring. Sparks on. Might just give it a couple of minutes. Collins not playing well as well either. So Perkins on there. Springett and Sinclair are going to have to see out this one. And Dunkley goes remarkably close. And somehow a header that goes across the crossbar goes out for a goal kick. How did he get curl on a header? I'll rephrase that sentence because it sounded weird. How does a ball that comes back off the crossbar go out for a goal kick? Either way, we've won the derby. 2-1. Rivals not just in location, but in the league as well. As you can see, the picture there a little bit better. Wickham have a game in hand that could push us back down to 4th again. But I think it might be against Lincoln, who are 8th. The fascinating thing about the fight this year is pretty much all those teams in the top end of the park, including Lincoln in 8th, have been top at some point. The only one who hasn't, I think, is Leyton Orient. But everyone else in that top 8, actually maybe Rotherham as well now, but before this weekend, Lincoln were in the top 6. So as of the top 6 at the beginning of this week, all 6 of those teams had been top at some point in this season, including us. We were there in weeks 4 and 5, I think. I'm loving this. Good job we got 34 grand for the FA Cup because we've now finally paid the 20 grand for Sule. So his first goal wasn't in the league. Might have been Papa John's. But what is likely going to happen is next time I see you is either going to be if we get past Coventry. I'm probably not going to bring you that. If we get past Coventry and draw a big team in the FA Cup 4th round, then I'll probably bring you the 4th round match along with whichever one is next to it, possibly Huddersfield, possibly MK Dons. If we don't get past Coventry, I'll bring you back for Crawley and Portsmouth, actually. The ones immediately after the January window will be the most sensible ones. But it'll be end of January, early February, somewhere around then. Like I say, keeping this motoring quite nicely. 2 very crucial wins, though. I'm happy with that. 4 different goal scorers as well. Nice to see a couple of those players who came in scoring as well against Plymouth there, because that could have been awkward if I'd had to massively rotate in a derby and we'd lost it. Either way, thank you for watching. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra.